Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
We begin with the weather. A major winter storm has begun its march across the country toward Metro Detroit. And tonight it's expected to hit hardest on Friday into Christmas Eve.
You're seeing the first bits of it right here. These are live pictures from Seattle-Tacoma Airport in Washington State. It's a mix of rain and snow, and it is canceling dozens of flights tonight.
The storm's next stop, the Plains. Live pictures from northern Nebraska tonight, where a winter storm watch is in effect. Wind chills are expected to hit 45 below zero. The timing with this storm could not be worse, with 3 million Michiganders expected to hit the roads for Christmas.
It's going to be a mess, so let's get right over to Kim Adams and what the latest model runs are showing for us. Kim.
Well, the good news here is that we have some time to prepare. It's not like this snuck up on us. We've been tracking this for several days now. It still isn't completely over land yet, so we're still getting some model data in, and we'll continue to refine the forecast over the next 24 to 48 hours. But here's what we know as of right now. Rain to snow Thursday night. Latest models showing it coming in a little bit earlier. Initially, it was more toward Friday morning. Now we're showing the snow beginning Thursday night, which could mean higher snow totals. Also wind, 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts expected by Friday and into the weekend. Sub-zero wind chills for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Weather impacts Thursday during the day. Fine for travel. You're all right Thursday. We might have a light rain shower here or there, but the majority of the snow and the rain will fall beginning Thursday night, continuing into Friday. By Friday, high impact for travel. If you can avoid traveling on Friday, please make those arrangements now, because Friday is just going to be an absolute mess on the roadways. We are concerned about something called a flash freeze. I'll tell you what that means for travel Friday and into the first half of Christmas Eve, coming up in the forecast straight ahead. The best way to stay up to date on all the latest weather information and this latest winter storm is by downloading the Forewarn Weather app. I can't tell you how valuable this is, not just here in Detroit. This is for weather all over the country. You just plug in the city that you're in or that you're going to, and you can have all the latest information right in the palm of your hand. It is free. Just go to your favorite app store, type in WDIV, and download the Forewarn Weather app.
All right, thank you, Kim. And as the storm approaches, preps are already underway to make sure that crews are ready for what's coming.
It's all clear right now as we take a live look at I-696 and Telegraph from our MDOT camera, but of course that is sure to change. Victor Williams is not far from that location. He's live in Southfield to find out what's being done to get ahead of all of it. Hi, Victor.
Hey, Christy and Karen, it's something because everyone is getting ready for this winter storm that's on the way. Even the guys over here at the Road Commission preparing for the worst.
Our drivers are ready. They know it's coming. They're on call 24/7.
In just days, rain is expected to freeze, turning into snow. Craig Bryson with the Oakland County Road Commission says with the addition of major wind, it's going to create an even bigger headache for drivers.
We've seen forecasts of anywhere from 45 to 60-mile-per-hour gusts potentially. That's a big problem. Both with icing, it causes the roads to ice up again, dry out and ice up. And if we do get a lot of snow, it's going to cause a lot of drifting, so that'll be a challenge.
Snow plows and salt trucks will be working around the clock when the snow actually gets here, but it has to be just the right temp for it to be any effective.
You get down into the single digits and it's pretty useless. So we'll salt down to about 10 degrees, maybe just a little bit below that.
As the storm touches down on the weekend of Christmas, things are expected to go either way for responding crews.
On Friday, that may help us a little bit. There may be less traffic out because of the holiday coming. That'll be a little bit harder for our workers over the weekend. And there may be a little bit less traffic on Saturday. I suspect it'll be hard for some families traveling around on the holiday itself.
Of course, main roads will be the priority.
As long as the snow is drifting back onto the roads, we have to keep plowing the main roads. It means we can't get into the subdivisions as quickly as we would like to, so that may be a challenge as well.
But those in the suburbs are asked to be as patient as possible.
The safety dictates we've got more traffic on the primary roads. It's moving at a faster speed. We have to get those safe before we get into the subdivisions.
And once this winter storm actually gets here, if you don't have to go anywhere, it might just be best to stay in. Victor Williams, Local 4.
All right, thanks so much, Victor. The planning is key here. And of course, Paul Gross will have the latest for us and be tracking the storm as well. And coming up at 5:15, Hank Winchester is at the airport telling you about the changes that airlines will allow you to make with travel. And of course, check in with clickondetroit.com, constantly updating the forecast, which is going to continue to evolve over the next few days.
Sure is. You can find a link to the story right on our homepage.
All right, our other top story tonight, a prisoner in Macomb County is charged with the murder of his cellmate.
Prosecutors say Michael Ketchum hogtied, strangled, and then stabbed his cellmate under his bed at the Macomb Correctional Facility in Lenox Township. Jacqueline Francis is live on this story for us tonight. And Jacqueline, we understand this is not the first time something like this has happened with him.
We're learning this inmate has a history of violence behind bars, bouncing from one facility to the next, finally landing himself in a maximum security prison on the other side of the state, charged in the murder of his cellmate. This is a look over the Macomb Correctional Facility on 26 Mile Road, the same place where Michael Ketchum allegedly killed his cellmate in October before repeatedly stabbing another inmate. The prosecutor says Ketchum went to breakfast that morning and stabbed a fellow inmate 8 times in the head and neck. Officers then went to Ketchum's cell, where they discovered his cellmate hogtied, strangled, and stabbed to death under his bed. The first inmate stabbed is expected to survive. The big question, how could this have happened? Michigan Department of Corrections spokesperson Chris Gouts weighing in.
Unfortunately, we do have individuals who come to us with mental health issues, aggression, violence issues. He was appropriately placed. He was in a level 4 facility, which means he has very limited movement and things like that. But, these are unfortunate circumstances, and these things can happen from time to time.
Gouts said there was no motive and no warning, although Ketchum's criminal history from behind bars raises a few red flags. In 2019, Ketchum was charged with assault with intent to murder while he was an inmate at the Saginaw Correctional Facility. 10 years before that, in 2009, he was charged with assault with intent to murder while locked up at the Kalamazoo County Jail. MDOC says anytime something like this happens, an internal investigation is launched specifically focusing on the weapon used and how that inmate came to have it. Reporting live, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
So many questions on this case, Jacqueline. For tonight, in the sense, where does the inmate go from here?
Yeah, it's a great question. So the facility in Macomb County was a level 4 security prison. One step higher than that, that's a maximum security prison. That's located in Ionia County, and that's currently where Ketchum is being housed.
Does make sense on that one. All right, Jacqueline, thank you.
Now to coronavirus and new numbers for the week. The state is reporting 14,323 new cases over the past 7 days. That is up from last week, with an average of 2,046 cases per day. The state is also reporting 149 new COVID deaths over the past week.
We're learning new information tonight in a deadly fire over in Oakland County. The fire destroyed a home in the Rochester Estates mobile home community. That's near John R. and Avon Road. Priya Mann shows us why this fire was so difficult to put out and why specialized equipment needed to be used to get it under control.
When firefighters were able to get inside the mobile home, they encountered a hoarding situation which required specialized equipment to make sure the fire was fully extinguished. It took more than an hour just to contain the fire. Sadly, a man has died.
There were a lot of people crying. It's sad.
A tragic mobile home fire just days before Christmas claimed the life of a Rochester Hills man.
It's really scary in the trailer park because these trailer parks go up and within 5 minutes they can be all the way down to the ground.
Neighbors woke up early Tuesday morning to thick smoke and flames.
And then all of a sudden it just kept going worse and worse and worse. And then went through the living room and we noticed his car was there, so we said, you know what, he's in there.
Emergency responders arrived within minutes. By then, the home was engulfed.
Crews did do a search, found one victim, which unfortunately was a fatality. And at this point, we're just, the fire's under investigation by the Oakland County Fire Investigation Unit.
The mobile home could not be salvaged and was demolished to prevent hotspots from flaring up. The fire started early Tuesday morning at Rochester Estates near John R. and Avon Road in Rochester Hills.
He was a very friendly guy. He helped other people in the neighborhood.
He was a very nice man. He knew a lot of these kids for some of their lives. Like the kids that lived here, he knew them their whole lives, 11, 12 years. So he's been here for quite some time, and he's known a lot of people.
And the fire started around 2 Tuesday morning. Firefighters spending quite a bit of time trying to make sure that fire was fully extinguished and preventing hot spots from flaring up. As a reminder, the battalion chief is asking and urging homeowners to check their smoke alarms to make sure they're working and prevent a tragedy. Just days before Christmas, a man has lost his life. Reporting live in Rochester Hills, I'm Priya Mann, Local 4.
We are following breaking news from Detroit's West Side tonight, where a case of road rage turned into a shootout. Police say it happened after a car was rear-ended near the lodge and Schaefer Highway. They say the man who was hit first got out of the car with a gun. The other driver was a valid CPL holder and fired several times to protect himself. One man was taken into custody and is now in the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Police are still investigating the circumstances here and will continue to follow it for you.
And we are off and running on a Tuesday.
Let's check in now with Rod Malone.